Okay, so here's a video, brief video on how to kind of make sushi, prompted by Kylie's very sad attempt. Sorry, Kylie, I had to share that information. Okay, so what you're going to need is rice. I'm going to bring this down to where you can see everything. Okay, you're going to need some rice, whatever you want to fill it with, fish, vegetables, anything really works. And the sushi nori, or the seaweed. I cut mine into half sheets. It makes for a smaller roll, so you can make more variety. So main thing, I'm gonna get my sushi nori. Main thing with the rice is you want to keep it to a smaller grain. There's usually in the store you can find just like sushi rice, and that makes it pretty simple. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to flavor the rice right after it gets cooked with some rice wine vinegar and mirin if you can get it. And then some sugar. It depends on how sour or sweet you want the rice to be. It's all personal preference. Okay. And just so you know, mirin is a sweet rice wine used in Japanese and Chinese cooking. Basically all Asian cooking. So you want to take your rice, make sure your hands are nice and wet when you do this, and you're just going to kind of lightly spread it out on the nori. And get kind of an even layer, and then depending on your taste, sometimes you like to do, people like to do the sesame seeds on it. If you're not going to put anything on the outside of the roll, sesame seeds for sure, just because it makes it look nicer rather than just some white rice log. Okay, so got that on there. And take this and flip it over. Now your rice is down, and you have your place to put your stuff. So I'm going to do a spicy tuna and cucumber on the inside, and then some avocado on top. That should come out looking nice. Yeah. Alright, so you kind of get it. You're going to want to make a thin strip. You don't want to do too much. If you get too much, then it's going to fly everywhere once you try to roll it, and then that's just kind of a mess and makes things hard. So don't do too much. I know it may not look like a lot, but once you get all the rice and everything, it'll fill you up. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple strips of cucumber, just cut it up into long strips. And now we're going to roll. So you're going to want some type of saran wrap if you're doing the rice on the outside, because otherwise it'll stick all over the bamboo sheets. And these bamboo sheets, they're little rods that are tied together, really helps in making these. It allows you to be uniform with where you're squeezing and everything, and makes things nicer. So what you basically want to do is you're going to want to make a half roll over the top, so it kind of covers the top of it, and then you're going to squeeze it in so it kind of locks that part in. And then see, it's all nice and locked. And then roll it forward. And there's your sushi roll. And then go over the top again and just finalize it. Now your ends are going to be looking kind of odd. So what you want to do is take it, wrap the saran wrap over, just so nothing sticks, and go in, and you're going to want to push in the ends with just the tips of your fingers pretty lightly. You don't want to do any really hard squeezing on this because it'll really gum up the rice, and that's no good. Okay, and there is your roll. So now it comes to topping your roll. I'm going to use avocado. You can use avocado, any type of fish. If you have like a really thin cut fish, you just lay it on the top and then squeeze it down, and it'll work perfectly. So I'm going to get a knife. There we go. And just, you want to make really kind of thin strips. The thinner things are, the easier it is to cut, and that's a big part of it. Because that's probably the hardest part of making sushi, is cutting it and having it still look pretty at the end. because, yeah, it can go bad fast. Alright. So there we go, avocado on top. Wrap this back over and squeeze down. So you want to attach the avocado to the rice, that way it stays with you when you cut it. Okay. Take this off now. Alright, so now your roll is pretty much technically done. Now all that's left is to cut it. So what you're going to want is a very sharp knife, thin knife. Sharper, thinner, the better. It's should be able to see much. Yeah. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to dip it in water. Like I have a bowl of water for my hands and then also for my knife. And then run the water like a bead along the blade. So it keeps the whole blade from sticking. And then for a roll this size, you can get fancy and do other cuts, but basically if you cut it in 8 pieces, half, 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 half again sort of thing, and it'll work out. So I'm going to go in to about half. You're going to want to be really light with your cutting. You don't want to press down really, just kind of slide it through. Otherwise it'll squish and then your stuff is everywhere. So half, half, and then half again. If you notice your knife starts getting sticky, which happen more often the wider your blade is, the less sharp it is, you're going to want to run it in more water and just wipe it off with like a wet rag in between. And you make your cuts. I'm going to do this side now. Okay, there we go. We've got a roll. Now make sure everything's nicely on there, looking good. Saran wrap one more time. One more squeeze down. And you have a sushi roll. Now for plating, usually it looks better if you bring it into half. Like that. Then let's grab a plate. Got my nice little Chinese plate. And place. I think I just, yeah, there we go. Now, as far as sauces, I have 2 squirt bottles. One's it's a brown, it's pretty much just called sushi sauce. You can find it in an Asian market. It's at Kikkoman will sell it, but it's not usually in a grocery store. If you can't really find it, you're gonna want to go with something kind of like a teriyaki sauce. You want it to be sweeter. It's got to be really sweet and thick. So maybe do like a store-bought teriyaki and then add more sugar to it and heat it up, sort of thing. And the other one is it's kind of like an orange sauce, and it's your shirashi sauce, the red bottle with the green top, and just mayonnaise. So it's pretty simple, and it's a good one. So for it to look nice, you want to do like a diagonal little zigzag, just back and forth. There you go. And the same thing with the other sauce. Okay, and you're all sauced up. A little bit of sesame seeds for the top. And then some green onion. Nice and chopped up. And there you go. Oh yeah, and if you have any of like the little fish eggs, which I'd be pretty impressed if you do, just put them down the middle sort of thing, and that's it. So this is the sushi roll. Alright. Now I'm going to eat.